Our lesson in English today is using quotation marks, part 1. Today we're going to talk about how to use quotation marks when you use the word said in the beginning part of a sentence. Let me just give you some examples so you can see what I mean. If I said, the snake said, I'm going to then capture what he says inside the quotation marks. But we need to first look at this. The snake said is part of the whole entire sentence. I needed to begin it with a capital letter. The snake said, but I'm not done with the sentence yet, and I haven't even started saying his words in quotation marks. Each part of the sentence needs to have a capital letter, and it needs to have a punctuation mark. If I ended this sentence with a period right now, the snake said, I wouldn't be able to go on and say what he said. It would make it a whole separate sentence. If I put an exclamation point, the sentence would also be over. If I used a question mark, it would end the sentence. But because I don't want the sentence to end because he's still speaking, you use a comma. The snake said, and now I'm pausing for a minute, and now I'm going to capture the words inside of quotation marks. I'm going to write what the snake is saying next. The snake is saying, I eat mice. Now I'm captured his words coming out of his mouth with the first set of quotation marks. Because this is a sentence within the entire sentence, I needed to start again with a capital letter. I eat mice. The sentence is over now, so I'm going to have to put end punctuation marks. Because it's a declarative sentence, it's just stating a fact, I'm going to end it with a period, but I'm not done because I have to capture his words inside the beginning part of a quotation marks and the ending quotation marks. Now let's look at the sentence. This first part of the sentence started with a capital letter. The snake said, because the sentence isn't over, I needed to put a comma here. This beginning part of the sentence needs a capital letter and it needs punctuation. Because it's continuing, you put a comma. Now, the second part of the sentence are the words coming out of the snake's mouth. You've captured them with quotation marks. You started with a capital letter and you ended with punctuation marks inside of the quotation marks. Let's try another one. The frog said. I started with a capital letter and now I need punctuation marks. Because the sentence is continuing, I need a comma. Now I'm going to capture the words that the frog is saying. The frog is saying, the worm is delicious. Now I think, am I going to add it in a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point? It all depends on what type of sentence it is. If he's excited about it, we might end it with an exclamation point. And now I have to add the quotation marks to capture the words. Let's look at this sentence. In the beginning, we have the frog said. We have a capital letter and we have a punctuation mark. You need both of those things in both parts of your sentence. Now we're capturing all of the words here. We started with quotation marks and a capital letter. This needs to have a capital letter. The worm is delicious. The sentence is over with the end punctuation marks, and then it has quotation marks. Okay, let's try another one. The boy said. I started with a capital letter and I need punctuation. Because the sentence is not over, you put a comma in. Again, you need a capital letter and you need a comma in this first part of the sentence. Now I'm going to capture the words inside of the quotation marks. Let's take a look. Here is what the boy is saying. You are capturing his words with the beginning and the ending quotation marks. His sentence starts with a capital letter and it ends with punctuation inside of the quotation marks. We have a capital letter here. We have punctuation here. We have a capital letter here. We have punctuation here, and his words are captured inside of the quotation marks. Let's try one more. So we're going to start off with the girl said. Started with a capital letter. We aren't finished with the sentence yet, but I need punctuation in this part of the sentence. So I put a comma. Now I'm going to capture what the girl is saying. I've captured her words inside the beginning quotation marks and the end quotation marks. I started with a capital letter in here and I ended it with punctuation here. Think of this as the first part of the sentence, and this is almost a new sentence inside of that whole sentence, what the word is saying. So you need a capital letter, you need punctuation mark in the beginning, you need capital letters, you need punctuation mark inside the quotation marks. We've used commas, we've used periods, we've used exclamation points. Let's use one more and show a question mark. In this, we might change the word instead of using said into using a word that shows a question is coming. You could use the word asked. He asked. Now I'm not done with the sentence, but I need a punctuation mark in this beginning part. Capital H for he, punctuation mark. Now I'm going to capture his words. He asked, "What time is it?" Now it's a question, so we're going to have a question mark, and now we have to capture his words with quotation marks. So as a final review, you start each sentence with a capital letter, and in that beginning part of the sentence, you need a punctuation mark here, and we use a comma because the sentence isn't over. We capture their words inside beginning and end quotation marks. Their words start with a capital letter and they end with a punctuation mark. And that's how you use quotation marks when the word said or who is speaking comes in the beginning of the sentence.